Hey everybody, welcome back to another collab video. We're still doing the whole phone thing for now, so forgive me. Um, we're probably gonna do this moving forward now, just because my computer has been acting up all night and just in general. So we're just gonna have to deal with this for now, and hopefully you guys will be okay with that moving forward. But yeah, so we got some interesting things. So again, if you see my some interesting things to talk about, but if you see my hands doing stuff down here, that's just because I'm scrolling my computer down just so I can read to you guys the news that's been happening, and just giving you guys my comments. So we're just gonna jump right in. But first, let me grab a water real quick. Got my water. All right, let's do it. A little bit of water left, but whatever. But anyways, let's get into today's news. So, um, I was gonna start off our news with Super Pets, but we'll get into that in a second. Because I just read an article today that I found very interesting about a film that is premiering right now at the Tribeca Film Festival called No Man of God, which is another Ted Bundy type story. And apparently, before the premiere, which today was the premiere, um, I guess yesterday, Joe Berlinger, if that name sounds familiar, he is the guy who directed Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, the Zac Efron Ted Bundy film, which I found to be okay. Apparently sent that filmmaker, Amber Sealey, the filmmaker, and uh, sent her an email about certain potential things and comments that she has been making on her promotional rounds about his film and other people's films about Ted Bundy. I'm going to read the Variety article so you guys can kind of understand more of what I'm talking about. Um, it's a long read, so forgive me. And at the end of it, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this because it's kind of a mixed bag, but I have my thoughts. So, all right, so here we go. So, this is from Variety, so I'm going to start reading. So, quote: Joe Berlingo is accusing Amber Sealey, the filmmaker behind No Man of God, a new film about Ted Bundy, of taking unnecessary potshots at the two films he previously made about the serial killer in an effort to generate attention for her movie. The indie director, whose credits include both the Netflix docuseries Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes, and the drama film Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, which starred Zac Efron as the murderer, fired off a trenchant, I don't know how to pronounce that word, sorry, email to Seeley the day before her film premieres at the Tribeca Film Festival. And here's that a little bit of that letter. Quote: Forgive the unselected advice, but after reading some of your interviews about your Bundy movie, I feel compelled to tell you that tearing down my work to promote yours is a slippery slope and intellectually dishonest and deeply offensive, Berlinger wrote. How did my film glorify Bundy? Did you know anything about me and my 30 years focusing on criminal justice issues in my work, from wrongful conviction to victim advocacy? Interestingly, my Bundy doc series was accused by some of glorification because it discussed the hideous violence against women, and then my Bundy movie with Efron, which came out second, was criticized for glorifying Bundy by not showing any violence until the final scene. Which is it? Seeley shared his message on her Instagram account and invited him to attend the film's premiere on Friday, which on the Instagram post it said this. Quote, we have an extra ticket for you to the hashtag No Man of God premiere tonight if you'd like to see the movie for yourself, and we can discuss more in person openly, question mark, she wrote. Because this felt like you were just trying to make me feel shitty right before my screening. Have a great day. Hashtag Female Filmmaker Friday. Hashtag Bundy is divisive. Seeley declined to comment beyond her post. In a statement, Berlinger told Variety that he had intended to keep the exchange between the two filmmakers private and suggested that she was seeking publicity by sharing his email on Instagram. Berlinger then says something else. So this is Berlinger talking to Variety. Quote, promoting her film about the rape and murder of women by tearing down my film was designed to be a victim-focused film about the psychology of betrayal and deception, made with the full support of victim Liz Kendall, played by Lily Collins, and was supported by other victims of Bundy's crimes, felt intellectually dishonest, Berlinger stated. In a private email, I let Amber know my feelings in a thoughtful manner. Her publication of that private email is as self-promotional as her comments about my film. There is room for many takes on a subject, and I wish her the best. It's a miracle that any film gets made these days. So to tear down other people's work to promote your own is not how filmmakers should treat one another. Remember, she made it public, not me. Mine was a private email. Berlinger doesn't specify in his notes or in his statement which interview raised his ear. However, in a recent Refinery 29 piece, Salinger argued that other movies about Bundy had glorified him. So here's a potential, the potential interview that Berlinger might have been, or at least an idea of the type of interviews that he was getting upset about. Quote, this is Seeley talking in an interview. Quote, I was certainly daunted by the fact that there had been so many movies about him, Seeley said. And then I thought if there was going to be another one, I'm going to make it stand apart from the rest of the crowd. I don't personally believe that any of the movies that have already been made up until now have really shown the real Bundy. They always glorify him. They make him out to be a male model, so smart, so charismatic, a master of disguise. I don't see that. When I look at him and I watch interviews and I listen to the tapes, I see a deeply insecure, needy, almost like an incel kind of guy who just wants accolades and wants people to tell him how great he is. And then the Variety article continues. A description of the film on Tribeca's website also notes that Seeley's film, quote, is the most sober and psychologically eradicate, I can't pronounce, I'm sorry, look at the killer story yet, and says No Man of God doesn't, quote, glamorize the oft-romanticized Bundy. The Oscar-nominated and Emmy-winning Berlinger's credits include the Paradise Lost trilogy, which helped pressure the Arkansas Supreme Court to weigh new DNA evidence against the West Mempsey 3, a move that led to their release from prison. His credits also include Brothers Keeper, Whitey United States of America versus James J. Bulger, and Crud. Seeley has directed No Light and No Land Anywhere, as well as the award-winning How to Cheat and A+D. No Man of God stars Elijah Wood as FBI analyst Bill Hagmaier and centers on a series of interviews he conducted in prison with Bundy, played by Luke Kirby, where he attempted to find out why the serial killer murdered more than 20 people. The film draws on transcripts of their discussion. And this is Berlinger within that email one more time, saying, I wish you the best with the film, but don't promote it at my expense, Berlinger wrote. I hope you have a good critical response, but I think once your reviews are in, you'll find that some of your reviewers will purposefully misunderstand your intention and criticize your work as glorification. Perhaps as a woman you will avoid some of the vitriol I received from some corners who seem to have a premeditated agenda to criticize, but I predict you will probably see a bunch of reviews that accuse you of what you now accuse me of in your self-promotion. Berlinger went on to wish Seeley good luck with the premiere. So that's what went down yesterday. And I assume, or at least I think happened, actually I think it happened today. Because No Man of God, I think it happened yesterday, because No Man of God, there is a review out there now. At least I think the first review is out from the Hollywood Reporter. And I didn't read the whole review just because I didn't want to know any ideas about the movie. But I just skimmed to the bottom just to hear like an overall critique. And they seem to have really enjoyed it. So that's just one thing. Just wanted to add that on to the conversation. But here's my thoughts on all this. Now, I literally have sat down and just kind of digested this all, so this is kind of off the cuff, so forgive me, maybe my thoughts may change later, but I feel kind of confident in what I'm about to say. But I will say this. I do believe that both are wrong, but Berlinger handled it better. Seeley decided to bring this ugly situation out to the public by putting it out on social media, whereas Berlinger sent her a private email. Now, Berlinger shouldn't be as upset because Seeley should be allowed to comment on other iterations of the story while promoting her work. I mean, she should be able to do that. I mean, many filmmakers comment on other filmmakers' work, so I don't get why that's a big of an issue. Now, not slandering, but commenting. That's the difference. Um, and if she is slandering just for promotional efforts, then that's just wrong. But from what I've read, it doesn't seem to be that way. But again, they only picked one interview that could be a possible idea. And if that is any idea, like if that little interview that was in the Variety article, an example of what Berlinger's upset about, he really shouldn't be upset about that because that's really, I've heard stuff like that before from filmmakers who talk about like their sequel to the originals or remakes or stuff like that. You know, they that's normal. So I don't get why he would get upset about that. But if it is slandering and there's other interviews that have yet to be published or anything like that, and they do show a different side of Seeley that Berlinger is openly discussing, which is possibly slandering the film for promotional efforts, then yeah, then that's completely wrong, and I don't support that. Um, but on the other side of things, Seeley should have taken that criticism much better, the email, um, because posting on social media that private email to me shows me the sensitivities that she may or may not possess. And in a business like film, sensitivities, especially when it comes to comments on your work, is totally expected. You know, you should absolutely expect that. I get sensitive a lot when people talk about my movies. Um, but the difference is you shouldn't get upset about it because at the end of the day, it's just an opinion. Okay? And my dad has this funny saying, which I say to this situation. It's gonna make you laugh, but it fits perfectly for this, which is this: opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one. Okay? I know you're probably laughing, but I feel that both of them need to understand this idea, in that everybody's got an opinion. Okay? Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's going to view the film in a certain way. They're going to review the movie a certain way, and they're going to love it or hate it or meet it in the middle. That's just the nature of film. Everyone has their own opinions. And and again, just to clarify, it's absolutely okay to be sensitive about someone commenting on your work. It's totally expected. But you, at the end of the day, just need to take it, not fight it. You know, you shouldn't have to go to the lengths that Celie went. You know, posting on social media and stuff like that. You know, and she was like saying, what did she say? I just want to bring it up again. She was saying like, um, that here we go on her Instagram that because this felt like you were just trying to make me feel shitty right before my screening. Again, that kind of speaks to, again, maybe the sensitivities that she may or may not have. Um, but again, it's an opinion. You know, Berlinger's email, from what I read, or at least for, sorry, my camera got out of focus. Um, from the statements that Variety had put out, yes, were they a little harsh? A little. But again, at the end of the day, it's an opinion. And Berlinger handled it better because, as we addressed up top, it was a private email. This was not, you know, Berlinger didn't go on Instagram or anything like that and publicly slander this, or publicly, not slander, but comment on this filmmaker like that. He sent her a private email. And, you know, for Celie to then do the opposite, you know, for me, I take issue with that more so than Berlinger sending her a private email. Because Berlinger is allowed to have his opinions, and you know, if he believes that, I mean, that's his right. You know, he's allowed to believe what he believes, and if he wants to send her a private email, that's completely fine. Celie is the reason why I'm kind of getting on Celie a little bit is because I I just think that Celie should have just handled the situation so much better by just simply not responding to it and just saying, hey, you know what? That's his opinion. That's not how I feel about it. I'm about to have my premiere. And you know what? Let's just move forward with this versus, getting upset about it. Um, so yeah, I think they're both wrong. I don't think Berlinger should have been getting upset because of what Seeley said, nor should Seeley got upset by what Berlinger said. Um, so I think both of them are in the wrong, but I think Berlinger at the end of the day handled it better. But they both, I think, need to learn the idea of what an opinion means. Because both of them are also entitled to their opinions. Let me just make that clear. Like Celia's allowed to do whatever the hell she wants, and Belingo is allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. But I, as a person, am also allowed to give you an opinion on how I feel about both these sides. And for me, I disagree with both sides. But if I were to between the two evils, I see that Berlinger handled it better than Sealy. That's just me. And I think that Sealy, I think for me, her wronging is a little bit more wrong than Berlinger because Berlinger was just coming out and giving an opinion to Seeley about how he feels about Seeley's promotion of her film, versus Seeley having an issue with Berlinger making comments to her about her movie and promotional shit. I mean that I don't know why. Like Seeley should have handled it much better, and I feel like it just it's just a little small situation. Obviously, it's gonna go away. No one's gonna really talk about it that much. But I just found it interesting reading it, and I just think that at the end of the day, both of them are wrong. But I think Berlinger at the end of the day handled it better, and I think Seeley should have been a lot smarter. I mean, she should have not posted that on social media. That was stupid. I don't know why she would have done that. Um, Again, that maybe she is. Again, maybe it speaks to her sensitivities, um, but again, I just say, just take it. Yeah, it's an opinion. You're gonna you're premiering your movie today. I mean, I assume you're getting a bunch of people that are talking about your movie right now. I hope that you're taking it well. I hope that you're taking it all in. Some people who hate your movie are gonna come in swinging. People who really love your movie are gonna give you all the praise. That's just the game you're walking into with film. Everyone's gonna have their opinion. Everyone's got it. Opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and you just gotta respect it. All right. Um, so, um, just take it. That's just the business. That's how everything rolls. So, um, so, so yeah, both are wrong. I mean, just to reiterate, Berlinger shouldn't have got upset, and Seeley shouldn't have got upset with Berlinger. So, both are wrong, but Berlinger I think handled it better. So that's just my thoughts on that. I just want to bring up that story up because I thought that was a very interesting story. Um, and I just thought it was an interesting little thing that was happening today. So I wanted to bring that up to you guys. Um, okay, but now let's move on to the news that was happening this week. We had mentioned Super Pets up at the top, and well, we have ourselves DC's League of Super Pets, which is a animated film coming out on May 20th, 2022. Well, they have officially announced the voice cast for this movie. We knew that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was going to be playing Crypto, but now they have announced that Kevin Hart will be playing Ace, John Krasinski, and Kate McKinnon, Diego Luna, and Keanu Reeves, which are all in unknown roles as of right now, are all also in the film. So big star-studded cast, and uh, I I I know a lot of people are not excited for Super Pets, but I think this movie could be very charming, and I think that there could be a lot of fun with it. I don't know who's directing it, but um, I like the town they're putting together. So I mean, that's giving me some interest to see it, um, and I think it's kind of I I think it's not obvious, but it's like if you're gonna pair up Dwayne Johnson with anyone, Kevin Hart's, they do well together, and that's just a duo that's just a natural. It's a duo that is expected. Also, like if you have Dwayne Johnson, likelihood you may have Kevin Hart appear. So, um, and John Krasinski obviously being on a roll right now for Quiet Place Part Two, and I believe Jack Ryan also being a good thing. Kate McKinnon obviously with SNL. Diego Luna having, of course, the Andor show, which is going to be the Cassian Andor show, the Star Wars show, that will, I think it's going to premiere that year. So he'll be a hot name by that time. He already is a hot name, but he'll be like hot in the news and shit that around that time. And Keanu Reeves is Keanu Reeves. And he'll of course be having The Matrix 4 later this year and John Wick 4 not that year, but you'll hear him, filming and stuff. So yeah, so that's cool. And I think the cast overall is interesting, and I'm interested to hear more about it and just to see more about it in the future. And interesting to know. Sorry about my hand, but I'm just looking at something real quick for the next topic. Um, it will also be interesting to know like what the tone of the film will be and all that stuff. Um, but uh, yeah, I mean, I am digging. I'm digging the cast. I'm digging the cast so far. So, um, okay, so I want to bring up the next topic, which happened today, also right before we went on. I'm just looking it up just because I don't want to mess up his name because I for some reason have forgotten his name. Um, Indiana Jones 5, as we all know, is filming right now. We talked about it in the last episode, I believe. And we've been getting some new set photos of some like possible like flashback sequences with a young Indy, and then like the Nazis are apparently returning for a potential flashback sequence. Um, but if I find his name, just so I can confirm that it's him, someone was spotted on set today that has not been confirmed yet officially, but people have taken photos with him. Yeah, him. So, um, Toby Jones apparently will be starring alongside Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones 5. There's some set photos out there right now. Indy and Harrison in the classic outfit. I'm just happy to see him in the classic outfit again. Um, and it seems like Toby Jones is going to be like in all Indiana Jones movies, there's always that person that helps Indy get to where he needs to go. Like along the way, he always meets these people. So it looks like Toby Jones will be that type of person for the film. I don't think he's going to be like a sidekick for Indy. I believe that's going to be Phoebe Waller-Bridge's role. Um, but it looks like Toby Jones is in, which is cool. I'm liking the set photos from it, and again, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. I love the. Oh my God, he has the whip out. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at set photos. Um, that is so cool. Um, I like that his costume also looks ragged. Like I like that. I like that it doesn't look so clean. It looks like kind of worn. I really dig that. That's really cool. I just haven't seen some of these new set photos yet. That's really cool. Um, but it's cool to know that Toby Jones will be in Indiana Jones 5. I feel like I've seen him before. I'm not sure what the film is. I've heard his name, but I what are his credits? I just want to look up real quick. He has been in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Infamous, and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Maybe that's where I saw him. Oh God, he was in The Last Thing He Wanted, which was the last thing anybody wanted. Um, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I feel like I saw First Cow. That's where I saw him. I remember seeing him in First Cow. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so that's where I saw him. I didn't love First Cow, but I remember him being in that movie. So yeah, Toby Jones will be in Indiana Jones 5. And we'll obviously hear more castings very soon. We'll probably see some photos of Mads Mikkelsen on set very soon, Phoebe Waller-Bridge and all that stuff. Just excited to know that Indiana Jones 5 is even happening. That's just exciting. I'm excited. I love Indiana Jones. It's my favorite film franchise. So, yes, I liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Not as much as the other three, but I didn't hate it like everyone else likes to bash on it nowadays. Um, but yes, it is exciting to know that Indiana Jones 5 is finally happening because all the delays, and that we will eventually see some footage from it. So, and see it in theaters, hopefully. Speaking of casting, getting into our next topic, Bill Skarsgard, yes, Pennywise the Clown, is joining John Wick 4. This is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. And they have confirmed the story, and they've also confirmed this bit of news, which is the plan is to film the four. And this was confirmed before, but it's just to bring up some information. The plan is to film the fourth and fifth John Wick features back to back. John Wick 4 is now scheduled for a Memorial Day weekend release on May 27th, 2022, after being pushed back a year from May 21st, 2021 due to the pandemic. And the first three movies have generated a $579 million worldwide. So these movies are successful films, and I personally am I'm digging this. And the reason why I bring up that little bit from the Hollywood Reporter is because I'm thinking, is he in 4 and 5? Because it sounds like it's a two-parter, if that's the case. So I assume that Bill Skarsgård will be in the fifth one. I have to imagine that he is an assassin. I have to imagine. Like, he has to be some assassin that John Wick will encounter along the way. Or maybe he's the main villain. That'd be really cool. Or maybe he is like a hero that John Wick meets along the way. Like an old friend of his, like Donnie Yen. Which I don't buy. Donnie Yen is a villain of some kind. And Donnie Yen and Keanu Reeves are definitely going to throw down. They're not going to miss that opportunity. Just wanted to chug that down, and now it's gone. But Bill Skarsgård coming to John Wick 4 is really crazy and really, really cool. They've been stacking up this cast, man. Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, Lawrence Fishburne also confirmed that he's returning, obviously. But yeah, it's really, really cool to hear that he's going to be in the fourth one. I think he's an assassin. I have to imagine that he's an assassin. So, okay, and the last bits are actually, we still got a couple of news to get through. The next bit of news are trailers. The first trailer we're going to talk about is we have our first trailer for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This is starring Jessica Chastain, Andrew Garfield, and Vincent D'Onofrio. It kind of has like a Mr. Rogers type feel to it. Not like Mr. Rogers, like all fun and colorful, but it kind of, the characters kind of remind me like that a little bit. But there's some religious aspects to it. Mr. Rogers was religious, but it's more emphasized on the religious stats of things, and it looks like to also be a descent of many kinds. And within all that, I must say, just from the trailer, I like the approach being taken and with this, and it looks promising. Jessica Chastain looks solid, especially with the makeup design around her. She looks great, really lets her disappear, and that's what I love most about seeing roles, is I want to see the character, and I think Jessica Chastain is very, in many ways, unrecognizable in the trailer, and I love that. I really like what I'm seeing from her. I didn't see the Big Sick, so I can't comment on the directorial efforts on that, but it looks fun. It looks fun. It looks interesting, and it has some promise. So, and Jessica Chastain looks solid in it. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm definitely interested to see how that goes. The next trailer we gotta talk about is, I didn't mention this one last week. I forgot to. No Sudden Move. We have our first trailer for No Sudden Move, which has a star-studded cast, starring Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, Ray Lotto, David Harbour, John Hamm, and Brendan Fraser, just to name a few. It is directed by Steven Soderbergh, who you guys know from the Ocean's trilogy, Contagion, which was a very popular film in the pandemic, and Logan Lucky. And it's being released... and by the way, The Eyes of Tammy Faye is being released on September 17th, 2021. Just wanted to clarify on that. And No Sudden Move will be released on July 1st, 2021 on HBO Max. I must say that I found the trailer to be okay. And maybe it's just me. I saw the trailer on YouTube, but is it shot awkwardly or not? Because I know Soderbergh, as of late, has shot on an iPhone for certain films. I believe Unsane was completely shot on an iPhone. Just curious what equipment he's used here, because it just looked a little jarring for me in certain moving shots. Like the shot of Benicio del Toro sitting in the car and Cheetah walking out. just look at the background. It, like when it move, how the camera moves, it just looks odd. So I don't know what type of camera equipment they're using there, um, but but yeah, it looked a little jarring for me. But it looked like it could be potentially investing and such. But I just think the trailer just looked okay, to be honest with you. It didn't look like, it looked like it was trying to implement some of that same energy that The Irishman possibly had, but The Irishman is leaps and bounds better because of, for many reasons. And I think the trailers from Irishman also marketed a lot better because they understood the strengths of what film they had. No Sudden Men just looks like your typical gangster mobster type film. I think. I think. Uh, Forgive me, my memory on No Sudden Move trailer is kind of vague, so I think it was a gangster type project. I think. Could be wrong. I think it is. If it's not, all our numbers that I thought, meh. That was my thoughts on it, but yeah. But No Sudden Move, we'll see. I think it's a detective story. Either way, though, I feel I got an Irishman vibe from it. I don't know why, but maybe it's because it has like a star-studded cast. Ray Lotto, being part of the Scorsese's projects of the past, Goodfellas. But I don't know. It looks okay from what I saw. And then the last trailer we got to discuss before we get into our last topics for today is Tick Tick Boom. This one I saw, I believe this came out yesterday, starring Andrew Garfield, he's got a good year ahead of him. He's got Eyes of Tammy Faye, and now he's got Tick Tick Boom, and also stars Vanessa Hudgens. It's directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who, by the way, is having a great weekend right now with In the Heights. This is his directorial debut, so that's interesting. And it has a release date of fall 2021 on Netflix, so no release date. Interesting. Um, I'm liking what they're not. I'm liking that they're not promoting this as a musical. It's obviously a musical, um, and it looks like a promising portrait of dissent and the knowing of your dissent happening, or story of one falling to illness and through that a dissent. Andrew Garfield also looks very promising. I really liked the opening sequence of him like just singing and stuff. I thought he looked very charismatic. Um, so it looks very promising. I like the idea of it, and I like just the potential work that Garfield might be giving. So sign me up. I'm interested. I mean, I'm already signed up for Netflix, so I'll be watching it. But yes, it looks interesting. I must say, very promising. Okay, the last topics we have to discuss for today are DC related. One of them was a rumor or at least is still a rumor for now, which revolves around Blue Beetle. Um, Blue Beetle might release on HBO Max. And this story is coming from the Los Angeles Times, and they might have let slip, or may have just made a mistake, um, about Blue Beetle's potential. Says, quote, for HBO Max, Steven Soderbergh recently wrapped shooting on his feature Kimmy, starring Zoe Kravitz. Also on the docket, a Lantix reimagining of Father of the Bride, starring Andy Garcia, and a house party reboot from LeBron James's production company Spring Hill Entertainment. Additionally, Warner Brothers has mid-budget DC movies on their way for streaming: Batgirl, which we already know is confirmed for HBO Max, and Blue Beetle. So Blue Beetle might release on HBO Max. There's no official word as of yet from the company whether or not that is true. Now, if it is true, my thoughts on this are this. This would make sense if you look at it from WB's point of view, because their strategy seems to be that theatrical plans are only for projects guaranteed to make profit, like The Batman, or Black Adam, or Aquaman 2, which we'll talk about in a second. Or like Shazam 2, or Wonder Woman 3. Those movies are guaranteed to make profit in some capacity or another. Ones that aren't in that category or are brand new IPs with no guarantee, a Batgirl, a Blue Beetle, would be safer released on their streaming platform than in theaters. And I'm just personally speaking, I'm happy to see WB and HBO Max making much more smarter decisions moving forward. And also, to be frank, Batgirl and Blue Beetle are also, as it reportedly, mid-budget. So with that, and the fact that they're new IP to market, you can see why dropping on HBO Max would be a safer bet. If the budgets were blockbuster size, you'd be an idiot to not release those in theaters and to not get the best returns. And they know this, but that's not the case here. So I'm just happy that WB is playing smarter now with their release models. And with that, if they do drop it on HBO Max, Blue Beetle, it makes perfect sense if you view it from WB's perspective. Um, and I think that strategy works way better, leaps and bounds better, than doing the whole dropping everything on HBO Max type shit. And as you can tell, as everyone now admits, that strategy has not worked out for them. So yes, I do think that if they put Blue Beetle on HBO Max, I think that actually is a smart move to make. And if you read into how WB's perspective and their point of view on why they would make such a decision, I think it makes a lot of sense. So, and the last story for today, we kind of alluded to. Aquaman 2 has an official title. James Wan revealed it on social media. It is now called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And the film is still being headed for release on December 16th, 2022. And I believe it's filming this summer. So that's awesome. That title sounds okay. I mean, again, a title doesn't break or make a movie, or make or break a movie. It sounds okay. It's an okay title. It sounds more like a video game title or more like a spin-off comic book, but more like a video game. I'd say more like a video game. But it's like those. It sounds like those dollar like PS2 games or PS3 games that you find in the bin, at Best Buy or something, like where you just go and look through the little bins, or like Target where they have like sales. They're like, here, $5 for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, you know. But or like I said, it sounds like a comic book where you go to like the store and you go find like those cheap dollar paper, not paperback, but you know, like the little thin. I'm not a comic book expert, but not the hard covers, but like the paperbacks. And it just says Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom, you know, some like spin-off comic. I didn't love Aquaman. I'm still looking forward to this because, you know, I'm interested to see what James Wan brings to the sequel. I didn't love Aquaman. I thought it was fine, but I am interested to see the sequel. Definitely will see it in theaters. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, I don't think the title's great, but again, a title doesn't make or break a movie, so. But that is pretty much it for today, guys. We had some interesting talks, mainly about that whole controversy with No Man of God. Very interesting. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the whole controversy. And with that, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you can, also watch my short film that I've released on YouTube. I'll have the link in the description box. And just give me your thoughts on it whenever you guys can. And with that, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. And I'm going to hit the bed now because it's getting late. So thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, be safe out there. Wash your hands, sanitize, get vaccinated, and if you want to, obviously. And just make smart choices out there, guys. Just make some smart choices, and we'll get through this together. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll catch you guys next time. Y'all have a good night. I'll catch you guys in the next video, whatever that will be. Probably, maybe I'll do, you know what? There are some movies that are coming out this weekend, so be ready for some movie reviews. So thank you guys. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Peace.